refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss.
Pacers were going to make the playoffs. It didn't end so well for you, brother.
If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool.
You fell asleep at the trade deadline when we had a trade to get Kyle Lowry out of here.
They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes. They gonna take it.
This is what we got to tell.
I've been sad doing this.
I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I pay for the cost. I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I'm paying the cost. I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome to Refuse to Lose Sports. My name is Joe Jordan. I'm excited about today's episode. I don't know about y'all, where y'all at. Over here in Rhode Island, it's been very windy and rainy all day. I don't know how it is over there. Like, I actually went to the auto shop today and the glass window broke off. So I don't know what it is, man. The storm is coming in Dallas. I mean, I don't know, right? What's going on? I'm sorry. So look, we got a good show for y'all today. We got to talk about the Bills and the Dallas game. I mean, that was alarming. That was very surprising. I don't think a lot of us expected that outcome. We got to talk about Purdy. Is it now? Can we stamp it and say he's a front runner, clear-cut MVP right now? We got to talk about Mike Tomlin. I know Dave, he said, we got to talk about this in Pittsburgh. What's going on? We got to talk about Mike Tomlin. Is he, his team falling under deaf ears? You know how that be, right? We all kids at one point, right? We fall deaf as your parents is, right? And lastly, we got to talk about the AFC South. I mean, that division right there is so surprising. I don't think nobody expected these three teams to be tied at this time of the year. No. But before we get to that, I got two of my bros with me. I got Davey Dollars. He wasn't here Friday, y'all, but he got the new background, NFC West champs. Got Davey Dollars here and Mr. You Done Some himself. Tomo, how y'all doing, fellas?
One job, just one job. Sometimes you just want your team to live up to the expectations or shut the world up. They don't. Anyway, I'm doing good, man. How y'all doing?
I'm doing great. Like you said, back-to-back NFC West champs. It's a standard. This is not the goal. This is a standard. Also, great Joe. You know what? It's crazy because it's windy where I am too. I'm actually in Jersey right now, so it's very windy up here as well. I woke up this morning and felt like the windows was about to get blown out. So it's crazy windy up here. But who knows who is going to be windy for somebody tonight? You got the Seahawks and the Eagles tonight. We clinched the division, so I could care less about this win or not. Who wins tonight. I personally hope both teams lose. If that was possible, I would hope that would happen. But that's not going to happen. So, let's see. Jalen Hurts is pulling a Jordan. He was sick, but now he's playing. And then Geno is also playing, but they didn't say who was going to start. But
that's true. That's true.
I don't know, but I'm also excited because Tyler Hero is back. He was out for a while, but Tyler Hero and Bam are both playing today, so. We healthy, so let's see how it goes. Let's start the show. But it's Monday, money making Mondays, victory Monday for some people. Let's go ahead and turn up. Turn me up. Do your thing, Jody.
Man, Sam Howell got benched, but Keegan Murray, got 47 on Saturday. Hey. The third best. I mean, creating a big three. But look, though, if you're on right now, make sure you like this on 3 different platforms. We are streaming this on YouTube, Facebook, and the newly Instagram. All right. So make sure you like on all three platforms. Share the video on all three platforms. Follow and subscribe on all three platforms if you haven't done that yet. Use the comment section. We can see all the comments y'all will be putting down throughout the show. Any super chat that comes through the chat, we'll put it to the front. Hold up, stop everything we're doing. We'll read the chat. You get the platform, you get the shine, and then you get your floor. All right, because we appreciate all the donations and the gifts.
Donations, gifts.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. I mean, Christmas is coming up, all right? But last but not least, enjoy the rest of the show. Tomo, the floor is yours.
Man, that's funny. I'm gonna save my my Windows getting blown out joke for later on because y'all clearly know where I'm going with that. But Dave, I mean, I'm glad you brought this to our attention because it's kind of funny that you did this again with another coach. You said, can we say that? What's his name? Let me not be disrespectful. And y'all say that Belichick is on the hot seat, and we was like, everyone was like, nah, why would you say that? Davey Schefter being ahead of the storm again. Then come Saturday, we see the steel curtain go out there, and then they lose another game. So this is their third straight loss, and we have the Pittsburgh Steelers losing their third straight game. They dropped to 7-7 after Saturday's matchup against Gardner Minshew and the Colts. Some would say the homeless man, but hey, I would call him fiscally responsible because if you can win NFL games and live out your car, you good money to me. But they lost 30-13, and Mike Tomlin shows up in the press conference, and he, of course, he has another Mike T conference. But we got to ask this question, and I'm going to start with you, Dave. But the question is Mike Tomlin's voice falling upon deaf ears?
You would have to say yes. And the reason why I'm saying that is because who's the leader of this team? Is it Kenny Pickett? I don't think so. He's only a second-year player. He is the quarterback, but he's only a second-year player, and it's not like they have gotten to the playoffs. They haven't reached the playoffs since 2017. So there's that. You would say it's TJ Watt. He's the defensive guy, but more times than not, you also need that leader to be on the offensive side. And it's usually someone that's either talented or someone that's a winner. We can't really call anyone that right now because they haven't been to the playoffs in a while, like I said. They have I guess it's a weird running back situation because you got Najee Harris, who they drafted, who's been starting, but then you have Warren, who's come in and played some really good games. So what's going on with that? But I think the biggest issue has been George Pickens. Pickens, we know, wide receiver out of Georgia. We've seen what kind of catches that he can make. Okay, so, all right, they haven't won a playoff game since 2017. All right, so let me get that straight. Deontay Johnson was also hurt majority of last year. And then you can talk about, you got Minkah Fitzpatrick on the defense, who's also, been in this league for a very long time. But it just seems like this locker room is out of whack. It seems like they're questioning each other, questioning how they're going to play. And if you think about this, remember when Matt Canada got fired, and I talked about all these stats about how long it's been since they've had a game for over 400 yards. Now, remember, I said it was 58 games. 44 of those games were Matt Canada. So that means the other 14 was without Matt Canada. So it's been 58 games while Mike Tomlin has been the head coach that their offense hasn't had over 400 yards. Now, they had one the week after Matt Canada got fired, but how many have they had since then? And I get it. Kenny Pickett is hurt, but they were talking about benching him before he got hurt. Then you got Mr. Trubisky. We know what he is in this league. Mason Rudolph, we've seen what he's done with Pittsburgh. Maybe it's just a sign for them needing a new voice in the locker room. He's been there for a very long time, but they haven't had much success since Ben Roethlisberger pretty much retired. Like I said, they only won, the last playoff win was in 2017. They've gotten to the playoffs in I guess it was 2020 or 2021, but Where have they been since then? Are they just okay with having a winning season and not having a losing record, or do they really want to compete? Because they are there are only two teams in the NFL with 6 Super Bowl titles. That's the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So are they really going to go for Super Bowl titles, or are they just going to continue to make sure they don't have a losing record when the season's in? So they have some questions that they really need to talk about.
Joe?
Gotta disagree with you, Dave. They are not falling other than deaf ears. This is how I look at this team, right? They're losing. First of all, look where they at based on how they look. They've overachieved. Can we all agree that? They have overachieved. The fact that they are still in the playoff picture with their season looking like it is impossible. They can't be falling under deaf ears because Mike Tomlin's voice had to be working for them to be in this position. And I look at the games that they actually lost. There have been games, either they play against a good team, 49ers. The Houston Texans are pretty, they show promising. They lost to the Cleveland Browns. But even they lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but that was Mitchell Trubisky. And they lost their last game. That was Mitchell Trubisky. The game was tied when Kenny Pickett got knocked out the game. So once Trubisky came in, they lost the lead. So they have a quarterback issue right now. First, they had an offensive coordinator issue. Now, I will say this. Mike Tomlin waited too late to make a change at the offensive coordinator position. He did. But to his defense, with all the coordinator problems, they were still winning games. So it wasn't like they were losing with this coordinator. They were still winning games. And then when it got real ugly, that's when he had to make a change, which he did. But Kenny Pickett can't stand the lineup. So I think that Mike Tomlin is a great coach. I think that he's doing a great job this year. If they make the playoffs, he will have a shot to be coach of the year from all the crap they went through offensively. They actually went through a point. It was a point of the season when they were outgained every game and still had a winning record. I never heard before. That's coaching right there. But I think what's going to stop him from being coach of the year is that Matt Canada move happening too late. But I don't think he's falling on deaf ears. I think he's doing the job.
So the Matt Canada move was one. He needs to fire his wide receiving coaches also, because you said they have a quarterback issue. They also have a wide receiver issue as well. Excuse me. Because if you look at some of those plays recently, none of their wide receivers want to block anymore when the play either doesn't go their way or it's a running play. They don't even block anymore. They just stand there. They don't even attempt to block. They literally just stand like a statue, like they stand outside of Buckingham Palace. That's what they're doing. And that's not good. And that's why most people are trying to say this is falling upon deaf ears. Because if you think about it, right, Mike T came out and he said, of course, what Vaughn was saying in the chats, this is where Jalen Hurts get his quotes from. He was like basically saying, I don't have the answers today. And if I had the answers, then we would have played differently. He's like, if we keep doing the same thing, then expect different results. That's basically insanity, right? Again, how many coaches has the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise had? 16. That says something about them. They still have 6 rings, right? For them to only have 16 head coaches, I've seen franchises go through coaches and quarterbacks like turnstiles. I ain't gonna say a few names, Manders, but we've seen it happen, right? And with this situation, I just think Mike T needs a new environment or just a breath of fresh air as far as in the locker room. I ain't gonna say he needs to leave Pittsburgh, but they need something in that locker room because what's happening now is kind of like rap music today. And it goes back to a debate that we just had in the chats about who's the GOAT. Is it Lil Wayne or Jay-Z? Right now, everybody is listening to Jay-Z feel like Mike T is the GOAT of coaches. We know he's good at what he does, but then you got these youngins coming in the locker room talking, well, I only like Lil Wayne and, everything that he brought to the culture, the influence is there. So I'm not going to listen to what you got to say anymore, old man. And that's how they treating him. They're like, look, we tired of this, old man. The old way was the old way. Or I got something for y'all. Remember this for my Baltimore people. The old days. You want the old days to be like the old days. And that's just what they are. The old days. So that old way, we not going to play like that. So unless you can find somebody that's going to come in there and bring a breath of fresh air, they're going to keep doing the same old things. Now, all of us up here would agree that we would like Mike T as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, again, go ahead.
That's exactly what. So see, so I'm not saying that Mike T is a bad coach. I think this is the same thing I said about Bill Belichick. I don't think neither one of them are bad coaches. Sometimes it just comes to a time to where things just need to move on. Sometimes, and I'm not saying that Mike Tomlin should be on the hot seat. I'm not saying he should be fired. His team is not 3-10. Let's just get that out the way. His team is not 3-10. But I'm just talking about from the standpoint of them saying that he's never had a losing season. Is that just enough? Is that all that you want to say about him as a head coach? He is a Super Bowl champion. He has a Super Bowl ring. So we know that he's a Super Bowl head coach. But is that it?
Dave, I got you. And Joe,
Is that it?
Joe, you're gonna be able to relate. I ain't saying you're gonna be able to relate as in where I'm going with this analogy, but you're gonna be able to relate. And for anybody that's been in a relationship, a long-term relationship, what's the first thing that your spouse will ever come to you say after you feel like it's getting stale? We need to do something to liven this up. Like, we don't go out like we used to. We don't dance like we used to. All you do is come in the house and watch football all day. Like, come on.
We need to put some spark back into the relationship, put some fire back into the relationship.
Yeah, you know.
And that's all I'm saying. I'm saying is what is he going to do to improve this offense? Because that's the biggest issue is this offense. Yeah. We know his defense can play lights out no matter what. They've given up some points this year, and we know that. But this defense we still know this defense is good. But Joe, like you said, he waited too long to get rid of Matt Canada. I get it, y'all. You were winning games, but you were winning games in spite of your offense. It's because you were only winning because of your defense. We all know that your defense is only going to get you but so far. This is not the 2000 Ravens. This is not the 85 Bears. Your defense is not going to be able to get you that far in this league without your offense being able to get them off the field. Your offense got to be able to at least sustain drives and score points. That hasn't been the case for the Steelers for a little while now. And is that what they're just going to accept? Is they're going to accept that just because Mike T is Mike T? Maybe they just need a new voice in there. And even if he stays, get an offensive coordinator in there that's going to help improve this offense. If not, then maybe it's time for him to go.
So the issue is not like, okay, I don't think it's deaf ears because, like I said, they overachieved this year. They have done better. You put a different coach in the situation, they are not in the playoff picture. So a change of scenery is not good for Mike Tomlin. He's good where he's at. A change of quarterback or a change of coordinator is the answer. But look at the previous years settling for winning records. Who have been their quarterback? They had noodle arm Ben Roethlisberger and went 10-0. I mean, Mike Tomlin is doing an awesome job right now.
It was 11-0, then they lost the last 6 games.
Because the Ben Roethlisberger is garbage. I'm sorry. He couldn't even throw the ball 20 yards downfield. Everything was screens and slants. I mean, he thought he was throwing to A.J. Brown. He said, what?
Y'all was the team that
ended
that streak, right?
Yeah, we did. Chase Young was there. They called it the flawed playoff year, but we made it. I mean, if y'all let a flawed playoff team outdo y'all, I mean, that's all I gotta say. That's you. I'm talking about some other fans on the bench. But anyways. Oh, and sorry, I had to take a shot at AJ Brown. AJ Brown is elite. All right, I don't want AJ Brown.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's an elite receiver.
AJ Brown or Antonio Brown?
Oh, well, that's another debate. I get what you're saying. Elite is like Tyreek Hill. Yeah, I got you. He's a really, really good receiver. So, talking like pump the brakes. Cooley Jackson.
No, you talking about the Steelers? I'm thinking you talking about Antonio Brown.
No. I took a shot at AJ, but I don't think you heard it though. I said Ben Roethlisberger knew the arm. He can only do screens and slants. You would thought he was throwing at AJ Brown.
You're right. My bad. Go ahead. Yeah, you're right.
but I mean, they are good what they got. And who the leader is? It's TJ Watt. If y'all listen to TJ Watt press conferences, that man is a leader. I listen to the press conference. He always encouraged, talking about other people on his team, encouraging all that stuff. He sounds like a leader to me. And not only he sounds like a leader, he leads by example on the field. All right. So I think that Mike Tomlin is good where he's at, and Pittsburgh will be fools to let him go.
They will be. Now, at the end of the day, I think we all agree here, but I think we messed up the casserole, man.
I think so too. Because that was so random. So random. I had no idea what he was talking about. Like, Carl, what does this have to do with anything we talk about right now?
I have no idea. But I think a clear cut across the board, we all agree that he shouldn't be fired. We just saying there needs to be some spark back to this whole Steelers organization because
Yeah,
right
I'm not
now
saying
it's the
I'm
same
not
old
saying
same.
yeah,
I
I'm not
mean,
saying Mike T should be on the hot seat. I'm just saying
y'all
maybe
said
it's
new
like
scenery.
Yeah, so what I meant by that's why I had to bring out the analogy as far as like we only go to the same places we always used to go to. How about we instead of going to Miami every year, let's go to Vegas or California. We can go to Canada. There's so many other places to go, but yet the
No, I'm going to
Steelers.
Canada. I'm going to Matt Canada. I'm going to Canada.
All right. Let's go to Jamaica or
No,
something
this is
like that.
Canada.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, what Dave is essentially saying is if we only care about just never having a losing season, that's just going to the same old place over and over again.
yeah.
We need to go a level up, and we know you can take us to that level because you've been there before.
The issue is this, though. They always have a winning record, so they're not in position to get a quarterback.
They got to make a trade.
They're not in position to draft. They could trade. That like and with Belichick's situation got nothing to do with his coaching. Everything with his GM skills. If he to give up GM skills, keep him as a coach still. It's because both teams don't have their quarterback. Now they think they got Kenny Pickett, but he hasn't shown that. Mac Jones, same thing. It's literally the same situation. Mac Jones and Kenny Pickett. The quarterback is the issue, not the rest of the team. The rest of the team doing a good job. It's just the quarterbacks and the receivers. I can be saying the receivers, George, and they young receivers too, So like this is it's the youngest receiver core he probably ever had in his career. Other than these are the same guys from last year, but this is probably the youngest receiving core he probably ever had. So it's an adjustment.
And that's when you got to look at the GM too, because now I know we about to move on. We about to close this out, but what is Justin Fields? I know how people feel about Justin Fields, but he might be on the block. They might end up with the number 1 pick in this quarterback class. Are you just gonna go over a quarterback and get Marvin Harrison Jr. as the number 1 pick? You could, but if you don't believe in Justin Fields, then you need to trade your quarterback. Hey, Steelers, there's somebody who can run the ball and help out with your run game. It's just things that can be done, but are they gonna do it?
They think Kenny their guy. Now in that situation, if you think Kenny is your guy, you will have to hit the jackpot. You have to find somebody in the draft. If you think Kenny's your guy, find another quarterback in the draft, and then if Kenny is slumming, instead of putting Mitch Trubisky in, put this young QB in and see what he got. That's what I would do. Like they got Rudolph and Trubisky. Like we know they're not the answers. You can keep Mason Rudolph because he knows the system and all that good stuff, but get rid of Trubisky and just get somebody. Because they paid Trubisky, remember?
Yep.
That GM, you're right. GM, they actually paid that man last year.
Speaking of, everybody can't get lucky though, Joe. Like everybody can't get lucky and just find a quarterback after taking a quarterback high in the draft.
Cool. Everybody gonna get Kirk Cousins somehow. I get it.
Whoa.
Well, Kirk Cousins though.
Same offensive coordinator, but I'm going to a different side of the coast with it.
Oh, go ahead.
You can get Mr. Irrelevant, and then next thing you know, your team just almost about to make the Super Bowl, and then come back next year and he an MVP runner. MVP Purdy. It's going to be tough. I don't know if the Steelers can do that. Everybody not blessed like the 49ers or Howie. Oh, what's Dylan Lawson? The form? Oh, see, look, we getting updates. I knew he was up to something over there. But we got to say it, man. We got to say it. I came on here 2 episodes ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Joe, you planted your flag. You even changed Dave's mind in the midst of you planting your flag. And then Dave was like, nah, I got your back too, because that's my quarterback. And then some people came on and said, nah, Dak the guy. Dak is back. Dak is whack right now. Look, is Purdy the clear-cut MVP front runner? And Joe, you started all this with this top 5. So you're going to start it off again. I know your answer is no, but go ahead and tell us why it's yes.
What?
Look, I had to throw you off too. I messed up the casserole, man.
So, listen, I'm not going to throw stats. I know Dave got that. I know Dave read with the stats. So I ain't going to throw up Purdy stats. All that stuff. I'm not gonna say I told you so. I'm not gonna say you should have listened. I'm not gonna say, what can I say, right? But what I would say is this: Dak Prescott fumbled, man. He really did. He fumbled the bag. 2 weeks in a row, the second place person fumbled the bag. 2 weeks ago, I felt like Jalen Hurts was probably above Dak because he beat Dak head to head, and then Dak just smashed him. I mean, smashed. Even when Hurts beat Dak, there was an argument that Dak outplayed him, right? Even in the loss, there was no argument when Dak beat Hurts. We know who won that battle, fair and square. So not only Dak had the numbers to compete with Purdy, he finally beat a juggernaut, so quote unquote. So he beat the Eagles. And then we like, whoa, it might be Dak. And with the star on his helmet, he just might get it. Y'all made a good point in the chat. He's a Cowboy. Purdy's Mr. Irrelevant. If it's close, let's give it to the Cowboy. You know what I mean? Like it's been a long time, right? So we're gonna give it to the Cowboy. But then Dak I came on the show. I said, man, Dak will really impress me, Tomo, if he go head to head with Josh Allen. You know, Josh Allen didn't have a good game, but if Josh Allen have a good game and Dak outdoes him and win, I would be highly impressed because I don't think he ever really done that in his career since Zeke wasn't the guy. Go toe to toe with an elite thrower the ball and go out there and win. And that's what AJ thought. Took a shot at Hurts and all that stuff. But he came out and he laid an egg, and it's like, dang, Dak. He had the word. There has never been a Super Bowl champion who suffered that big of a loss in December. There has never been a team who won a Super Bowl that year. Within that same year, they took that big of a loss in December.
It's about Purdy, Joe. It's about Purdy.
No,
but it's about Purdy right now.
I know it's about Purdy. So Dak fell the train. The only person, not only because Dak and Hurts, they wait for Purdy to slip, and they have no control of that. There's only one quarterback now that can possibly take Purdy's spot, and it's Lamar Jackson. And let me tell you why. Narratives matter in the sports. In the NBA, Joel Embiid, you look at the full resume, Joker should have won. I'm sorry. But the fact that Joker slipped while Embiid was rising towards the end of the year, the last thing you remember is Embiid cooking and Joker not cooking, so they gave it to Embiid. They play head-to-head. Y'all know if Lamar Jackson goes out and outplays Purdy, and Purdy has a bad game, they're going to put Lamar up front. Just all that. Forget the numbers. He has the best record in the NFL, and he beat the MVP. They're going to just jump him to the front. Or it might be a close race. And then Lamar got to play 2-0. He could potentially control his own destiny. Now, I don't agree with that, but based on the voters, that's how I'm telling you. That's how they're gonna look at it. He's the only one that has control over his MVP destiny right now, other than Brock Purdy. But right now, Brock Purdy is the clear favorite. If you don't say Brock Purdy is the MVP right now, you just, I don't know. You just like AJ hated that take so bad he put Dak in front of him. That's how bad he hated that take. All right, and he hated that. So. Yes, I'm not going to give the numbers, all that stuff, because we know what the numbers looking like. I mean, he leading the league in passing touchdowns, he leading the league in QBR, QB rating, but he got the most 4 touchdown games in the NFL right now. But I'm not going to go there with the numbers. I'm going to let Dave do that. But Brock Purdy is definitely MVP front runner.
Brock Purdy told Dak Prescott after yesterday.
Yeah, I ain't even hear it. Do it again.
My turn.
I thought she done.
That's we saving that for another topic.
Oh, okay.
Is Purdy the clear-cut favorite? Yeah, he is. Clear-cut. There's no way about it. We argued about it. Purdy came out and did the nice thing yesterday and said, I want to give it to McCaffrey. I mean, I would have said that too if McCaffrey was running the way he was running and keeping the defense up off me. Because if I can hand the ball off and you can go for 10 to 15 yards, maybe a touchdown, Thank you. Same thing with Debo. If I could just throw it up or maybe throw a short pass here and then Debo take it to the house, cool. Hey, Brandon Ayuk, you slanting people up. I mean, routing people up, not slants. My bad. The AJ Brown comment came back. You routing people up, and the next thing you know, I throw a touchdown. Boom. Hey, George Kittle, you lifting your jersey up saying F Dallas, man. You making my life easy. Hey, defense, no matter what happens here, y'all know I got your back because I can score touchdowns. Even if y'all let another team score and look like they about to win, because y'all did it 2 weeks in a row. Made the Cardinals think they was a good team. Then y'all made the Seahawks think they was a good team. It's like, no. Hit the switch. I got y'all back because that's what the MVP gonna do. Cam Newton came out and called all these people game managers. But hey, I'd rather be the greatest game manager of all time and win a Super Bowl than be arguing about if I'm a game manager or not and can't beat a team on the road. But that's another story for another day. I'm going with Purdy. Y'all know the stats, but yesterday, signed, sealed, delivered. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 242. Another game,
And he got hurt.
another one. And the only thing you can say about this kid is, well, if his pieces are not around him, then why is he not? Then who is he? I mean, well, Dave, I'll let you go in and say what you got to say about that because we know what the Eagles was last year. But if you look at Aaron Rodgers' teams when he won MVP, he had weapons. If you look at Tom Brady when he won MVP, he had weapons. Mahomes had weapons. I mean, at the end of the day, they give it to the quarterback for a reason. But the odds just went up. He was at plus 200 last week. Now going into this is minus 190. Clear cut favorite, man. I'm sorry. There's nothing you can say about it.
Minus 190?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you this. The only way he can lose this is if the Ravens show up and show out. That's the only way. Other than that, you can get no argument from me no more. It's on you, Dave.
All right. So I'm going to address the CMC argument first. So CMC right now is leading the league in yards per carry, yards per game as a running back. He leads the league in rushing. He's tied right now for total touchdowns with Raheem Mostert. Not leading, he's tied. And I believe he's fourth in another stat in rushing. However, he is on pace to have 2,200 yards total. That's receiving and running this year, which is great. But it's not record breaking. It's not something that we haven't seen before. So it is great because he's breaking a lot of 49ers records, which is awesome. But you know who else is breaking 49ers records right now?
Talk to him.
Brock Purdy. We haven't had a 4,000-yard passing quarterback since Jeff Garcia.
Jeff Garcia was a dog.
Montana never threw for over 4,000 yards. Steve Young never threw for over 4,000 yards. Jimmy Garoppolo, who was in this offense, never threw for over 4,000 yards. Neither did Nick Mullins or CJ Beathard or Trey Lance, for that matter. So that's those numbers. And like Joe said, I mean, Purdy, who is the Mr. Irrelevant, last pick of the draft last year, is first in passer rating, first in passing touchdowns, first in passing touchdowns compared to interceptions because he only has thrown 7 interceptions all year. They did remember the argument for Dak was he had less interceptions. Now they are tied. Passing touchdowns per attempt, Purdy leads in that. Passing yards per attempt, Purdy leads in that. Passing yards per completion, Purdy leads in that. Wins, Purdy also leads in that. He is on pace to throw over 4,000 yards. He also, like you said, he leads the league in passing touchdowns. Did y'all see the touchdown pass he threw to CMC yesterday when he was in the pocket and he had to run out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He turned his body and had to throw it across. Have y'all ever seen Jimmy Garoppolo do that?
It's a PG show. Go ahead.
I'm just asking a question.
Nah.
Just asking a question. Have you seen Jimmy Garoppolo do that?
No.
Okay. So, and then there's this argument about him being a game manager or a game changer. I would say he's neither. I would say he's a gamer. When the game plays, he goes out there, he makes plays. There's been plenty of quarterbacks in this offense that Kyle Shanahan has coached. The best out of this offense that we've seen that he's coached, not just as a head coach, but as a coach, is Matt Ryan. Did Matt Ryan have Julio Jones? Did they take the award from him?
Somebody said my argument was flawed when I tried to use that.
He also had RG Crumpler as no. RG Crumpler was way before his time. Sorry, that's wrong. But he had weapons. John Montana had Jerry Rice.
Crazy all the time.
He also had Roger. He had Roger Craig, who was one of the best running backs of all time. Everybody who's won MVP has had weapons. That's just what happens. You don't take away somebody's MVP because they have weapons around them. Other than Lamar Jackson, who had no weapons pretty much when he won MVP. Name me an MVP that won without having weapons. Brady won it with weapons. Patrick Mahomes won it with weapons. He had Kelsey and Tyreek Hill.
We had Kelsey last year.
Exactly. Aaron Rodgers had weapons. Did everyone forget what Jordy Nelson did that year when he won MVP?
I got the rosters up for each year too, because Carl thought I was gonna let that one slide.
Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers had weapons. Are we really thinking that? I'm not saying that Jordy Nelson is a Hall of Famer, but we know when Jordy Nelson was in that offense, he was one of the best receivers in the league when he was in that offense. Now people will say that's because of Aaron Rodgers, and we know Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm not saying that Purdy's a Hall of Fame quarterback. This is only his second season in the year.
Your best example was Kurt Warner.
That too. Rich Gannon. Was he the best player on his team when he won the MVP?
Jerry Rice on there.
Jerry Rice was on that team. And Jerry Rice, even at that age, was balling.
He was.
So come on, man. I mean, all I'm saying is when I make these arguments, I'm not saying that Brock Purdy is better than any of these quarterbacks. I'm not saying that at all. But was Brady drafted? Brady was 6th overall. Mark Boger was undrafted. I think was it Kurt Warner was also undrafted.
Kurt Warner undrafted.
Kurt Warner was undrafted. So
we're MVP. First year start.
We're gonna take away these. We're gonna take away his weapons. That it's not like he asked for this. This is what he got drafted into. He got drafted in the situation, and he was the 3rd string quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo was number 2. Trey Lance was 1. He got drafted into this situation, but you're faulting him from being able to be good with these weapons that the other 2 quarterbacks were not good with. So Purdy's the MVP.
He also had Randall Cobb and a young Devontae Adams. So Devontae Adams was on that team each year that he won the MVP. He was young the first year when you brought up Jordy Nelson, though. But I'm confused by that too, Carl. So you're gonna have to explain that to me. Like, are you trying to say
Jones on there too, right?
Exactly. And then I think maybe the year or 2 before that, he had Aaron Jones as a running back, and that's when they were using them by running back by committee, because that's what Mike McCarthy offense is. He don't really use running backs that much, unlike what Shanahan does. So again, I'm confused. I don't understand about that.
I think the best example for Purdy is Kurt Warner, man. Marshall Faulk literally won MVP the year after. That's his Chris McCaffrey. And Isaac Bruce was an elite. Now, elite is like crazy, Like
he had Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. So people forget
I think
about
was
those
a rookie, or he's in the 2nd year, but he was still good. And Isaac Bruce was like that. So, yeah, man. I mean,
and I kind of want to talk about the Lamar Jackson argument too. He would get it, but that would be because his team is winning, not because of his stats. Because he only has 17 passing touchdowns right now.
Who?
Lamar Jackson.
Yes, that I'm telling you that
he has 200. No, I'm not saying he don't deserve to be in the conversation. I'm not saying he don't, but what I'm saying is,
look at the overall.
If you look at the overall picture,
the conversation. I'm gonna be real with you, but because of how it goes, he just won on primetime. Everybody watched. He's Jags.
Yeah,
and he didn't have a beautiful game, but you see how everybody was feeling after they won. Like, is he gonna be MVP? And then they play y'all on Christmas Eve. That's like Lamar. Like, thank you, God. Thank you guys against the 49ers on Christmas Eve at this time.
So Marshall Faulk is not CMC.
That's what I'm saying.
Do people forget who Marshall Faulk was?
Yeah, Marshall Faulk. Right. Marshall Faulk was second and third in MVP voting when Kurt Warner won. And then when Kurt won, then the following year, Marshall Faulk won MVP because he broke the touchdown record that year. And he led the league in scrimmage yards like your boy CMC. He had 1,000 receiving yards. That's crazy. When he won MVP.
And then he's on pace to have 3 receivers on his team to have over 1,000 yards. Is that all CMC? I don't think that's all.
You hear that?
That's Purdy.
Marshall Faulk had 1,000 receiving yards as a running back.
I remember the greatest show on turf. I want them to.
See, how many receiving yards CMC got?
Can't stand it right now.
500?
Right now?
He had 1,000.
No, I think he's like maybe like 600 something like that. Because he got a total of 1,800 yards.
Man,
total.
that dude Marshall
1,200 is
tripping.
He got 509.
509. Marshall Faulk had 1,000 in a 16-game year. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
But did he do that while leading league in touchdowns?
That's in Carolina. What did he do here? I don't care what he did in Carolina. What did he do here?
That's all they had, Carolina. I mean, but he did 1,000 receiving yards and he led the league in touchdowns that year. That dude Marshall Faulk was crazy.
I'm just saying.
2019 was a good season. 2019 Carolina was a good
saying Brandon Ayuk has already went for over 1,000 yards. Kittle and Debo's about to do the same thing.
I was talking about CMC 2019. Yeah, that's when he had 1,300 rushing and he had 1,000 receiving.
Yeah, CMC has always been a scrimmage back.
Yeah, he liked that.
That's why when they got him, I was like, oh.
That's why I say he's the best dual threat running back in the league. Somebody else tried to tell me that I was wrong.
Who disputed that?
The Browns guy. He said it was Chubb, but you know.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you said that.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Now go ahead and finish your last comment.
No, I think something about that, but go ahead.
Now we're going straight to the AFC since you brought up Chubb, man. Get well soon. You gotta talk about the AFC South right quick, man. I know this was one of those divisions. It's kind of like the NFC South where we thought one team was going to win outside of Joe. Joe picked the Falcons, but we just thought this division was one team to lock up, and they still trying to find themselves. Jaguars lose last night to the Ravens on Monday night. No, that's Sunday night. Man, I need a nap. That was Sunday night. Man, I feel like the Jags. I'm trying to find myself right now. But they find themselves locked up in a 3-way tie for the division. We didn't think the Texans was going to be that good. Some people probably did, but no quarterback, no wide receiver. Still found a way to win a game in overtime. Titans, they went and got D-Hop. They still got Henry. And Levis was out there showing off. And then hopefully he gets well too. But all three of these teams end up with an 8-6 record. Who's going to win this division? Oh, gotta talk about the Colts too. I'm sorry. The Colts is up there too.
Yeah, don't forget the Colts.
Yeah. Who's gonna win this division? Because it's not looking like it's gonna be a runaway for the Jags. And Dougie P, man, he found himself like with the loss there last night. Like, what is going on here? What is this? We made the playoffs last year. You know, we beat the Chargers. You know, we beat the Golden Boy, and everything they had because they was up 27. We came back and won, so we should be able to be a lock-in or a shoe-in. No horseshoes because the Colts, they found some luck. I don't know how they got here, but they're up there. And for me, after going through all of this nonsense that this strange lady that the NFL is, I'm gonna still have to go with the Jags. I'm still have to go with the Jags only because the Texans is trying to get better after their quarterback got hurt. Case Keenum is nice, but you lose your quarterback, then one of your star receivers go down. Like Noah Brown is nice, Schultz is nice, but you can only ride good luck. But for so far, and the Jags still have health on their side, and they'll figure it out. But I'm still picking the Jags to win this division. Joe?
Yo. So I listened to my predictions, right, when we started the season. I had the Colts at 4. The Texans at 3, the Titans at 2 just because of Vrabel, and the Jags by default winning this division. And boy, was I wrong because the Titans are eliminated. Derrick Henry had his worst game of his career yesterday, and he's contemplating about coming back to Tennessee. Gardner Minshew and the Colts. Now, I'm never wishing injury on nobody, but maybe for the playoff push, Gardner Minshew was the better option, at least for this year, if they want to make the playoffs. He's a more veteran quarterback. He's led the team to the playoffs already. He's a better thrower of the football. Like Pittman, I'm pretty sure he's more happy that he's throwing the ball than the rookie year. So, but They balling, man. And I gotta give it to former Eagle OC, Eagle Ties. He's doing the job, man. He's doing a good job as a head coach. I give him his props. They are a top 10 offense in the NFL right now. So who am I going? Oh yeah, CJ can't say nothing wrong about CJ Stroud, but he's hurt. He's banged up. Trevor Lawrence is also playing banged up. But who's going to win? I'm gonna go. And it's funny because I think the Colts beat the Jag. No, the Jag beat them twice. The Jags swept the Colts, but they split with the Texans though. So who I want to go with? I'm going with the Jags still. I'm going with the Jags. I know the Jags lost yesterday. The score didn't really tell the full story. You watch the game, they look way better than what the score tell you. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars is just a better team. They got the better quarterback. The Jags just got hurt at the wrong time. So did the Texans, but they won their game without their quarterback. You know, they're still in it. But no explanation really. They just a better team, and they got the better quarterback. You know, and the head coach, Dougie P, with the experience. So I'm gonna go with the Jags to top this off.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. The main reason why I'm agreeing is because the Texans just got some injuries at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud right now is still in concussion protocol. They lost Tank Dell for the rest of the regular season. He's on IR. The only way he comes back to play is if they make the playoffs. They can make it, but I don't think they're going to win the division. I think the Jags will. Now the Jags did lose last night, 23-7 to the Ravens, but they still got a good chance. It's not like they got the doors blown off them like we did when we went down there, 34-3. But they got a chance. As long as Sunshine is out there playing the game, you still got Calvin Ridley, who makes tough catches almost every single week. Zay Jones, even though right now he's considered week to week, you got opportunities to be able to win this division. The Titans, you no longer have to worry about because they're not going to win, but they could play spoiler to somebody in this team. And the Colts, I mean, I think this is probably the biggest surprise for me. The Colts right now are actually in the race for the division. That's probably the biggest surprise for me. Other than the Texans, of course. I thought this would be a 2-team race between the Titans and the Jaguars before the season started. But, with Ryan Tannehill getting benched for Will Levis and, CJ Stroud has had a great rookie season. I think it's without a doubt he's going to be the offensive rookie of the year. And then, I mean, his rookie mate, Tank Dell, probably would have been close to because he started to shine at the end of the season. But I'm going to give it to the Jags right now, simply just because they have the experience of being able to get there.
And then the Colts and the Texans, they played the last game of the season. They're going to cancel each other out.
Yeah.
Well, if the Colts win that game, then because the Jazz got the Buccaneers, the Titans, and they got who they got? They got the Buccaneers, Titans, and the Panthers. So they could win out, but the Buccaneers gonna be a tough out. But they could possibly win out, and if the Colts win out, they win that tiebreaker because they swept the Colts. And then the Texans, they gotta play the Browns still next week, so that's gonna be a tough battle with the Browns. So and is CJ gonna be healthy by then? So it's gonna be tough.
If CJ's healthy, I think they have a good chance to beat the Browns because the Browns have been giving up points this year. They don't give up a lot of yards, but they give up points. So if you can score on them, you can
because they suck. That's why.
Yeah, they be tired. They be tired. They're like, look, bro, I just got out here, man. What are we doing?
They be fumbling their own territory and stuff. God,
like quick 3-and-outs, undisciplined football. Joe, like you can just go on and on. And we're not just talking about the Browns. We're talking about the Cowboys, man. They got cooked last week. They got cooked yesterday. See that transition? They weren't even ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
Something about this team, when you go on the road, they say most people gain the most weight when they go on the road. They go on tour, you eating fast food all the time. You're not really watching your health that much. And it seems like the Cowboys is doing the same thing because every time they leave, They miss that home cooking, that good Southern home cooking. The grandma with the thing under her arm that can cook good. That soul food. They went all the way up north. They thought it was gonna be cold. Nope, it was nice. They thought they was talking about. They thought they was gonna play on grass. Nope, they was playing on turf. That was like, here you go again. You got turf. It's nice. The rain didn't start till you started losing, but everything was in your favor to go up there and shut the world up. You was going up against what some would say a good 7-6 Bills team. Their record doesn't reflect how they've been playing. That's funny how you can say that about a team that's losing, but when you try to say that about a team that's winning, everyone want to look at you like you crazy. But we'll touch on that another day. You got to talk about the percentage of the blame for this game. So again, coming off that 33-13 win against the Philadelphians in Dallas, Cowboys found themselves slipping, falling. They couldn't get up against the Bills, man, and they lost 31-10. Dave,
I guess it was 10.
It was 10. It was 10. Hey, don't you take that touchdown away. And it was in the red zone, all right?
50 calories.
Hey. We on the road. We need to eat. Go ahead, yeah.
It goes back to what has been known, what the Cowboys have been known to do. This is actually the opposite of the Cowboys. Remember a few years ago when Tony Romo was there, or even when Dak first got there, it seemed like the Cowboys' home was where they couldn't play good at. It was the big playpen. Teams coming there ready to play Dallas and beat them at home. But on the road, that's when Dallas shows up. Now, you can show up at home, but you go on the road, it's a little cold. Don't know if you could be able to do what you need to do at home. The Cowboys are a negative 4-point differential on the road this season, and at home, I think they're like a plus 115 or something like that. It's a huge difference. The Cowboys are great at home, but right now they're in position to play on the road in the playoffs. They clinched the playoff spot yesterday, but it was in the midst of a loss. And it was in the midst of a loss against a team that has not really looked that good this year. Now they did fire their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey, and their offense has gotten a little better since then. But this goes back to what some people have said about this Bills team. It's not that they don't have running backs. They just don't use them. James Cook, for the 5th straight game, has had over 100 yards. And that's either running or catching altogether. He's had over 100 yards the last 5 games. And his offense is good because they're running the ball. That's the biggest thing. Josh Allen was not a factor. He only had 94 yards passing yesterday. And you know what he said? I feels like I'm that student that got on the school project and only showed up and got an A. And that's pretty much what happened. He didn't have to do much because they ran the ball. The Cowboys couldn't stop the run like the Eagles can't stop the pass. That's pretty much how it was. That's just what it was. The Cowboys' run defense is just not good. What the Cowboys need to do, right. And I don't like the Cowboys. I think that's been well known. But what they need to do if they want to compete, they need to upgrade this defensive line. If you want to be able to stop the run, you need to upgrade the defensive line. Who's your best run stopper right now? D-Law?
D-Law. That's it.
We know what they say about Micah. Run to his side. You got a good chance to get a good run if you run to his side. Ain't no one else really going to be able to do anything else on this defense to stop the run. Who are your linebackers right now? Are they going to help stop the run too? This Cowboys rush defense is not good. You got to have a good enough defense to stop the run to be able to stop anybody. And yeah, that is the big guy from Michigan. I think was it Mozzie?
Yeah, right.
Mozzie Smith or something like that.
I'm gonna let you get your joke off, Kev, because Brandon Graham went to Michigan too. So go ahead.
Sure
I guess
did.
you can just run straight at the Michigan guys. I should have known better.
Yeah, you saw what Debo did to Hassan Reddick. You know, he crossed him out of his ankles. But yeah, the Cowboys are who I thought they were. Not a good team on the road. You know, they went and showed out at home, but when it comes to certain teams, you're physical with them, and you're at home, you got a good chance to beat them. You saw what happened when San Francisco played them at home, 42-10, and then they just lost 31-10 to the Bills, who hasn't had a win like that since they played the Dolphins at home.
All right. So first, I want to give a percentage on Dax. This is for AJ. AJ, you watching? I know you probably like, he gave what percentage of the blame is gonna give Dak Prescott? I'm gonna give him 85%.
Yo,
85% time. I thought about this. Granted, it's not 99 because the defense was not good at all. They didn't help at all. I mean, the defense, number one, well, not just defense, players, period. Number one, the defense, they let Dalvin Cook run right down their throat. All right? Dalvin Cook, down theirs. All right? Also, number two, DeMarcus Lawrence get a bad roughing the passer call on a key third down play. That was terrible. Number three, Zach Martin, Tomo. I know you're defending his teammate, but it did cost y'all some yards. Y'all can use them yards. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is. But Dak Prescott, you are the MVP. You are the MVP candidate. You have the number one offense in the NFL. And there was a stress in that game when the defense was holding off the Bills and y'all couldn't move the ball at all either. And I'm going to put that on Dak Prescott because not only the defense clearly couldn't get off the field, but the offense kept getting off the field too. Again, when I see y'all against Seattle, y'all defense wasn't great, but who was great though? Dak Prescott was good. He was good. He won you out that game. He couldn't do that this game, so I give him 85%. Also, I want to say something about this notion. I got so much to say. I know I got you done. I also want to defend the Cowboys on this narrative about they're bad on the road and they're only good at home. Once again, I said this before. It has nothing to do about the road or at home. Look who they're playing at home and look who they're playing on the road. Let's do that now, right? Let's look at their schedule. The first week, they played the Giants away and won 40-0. That's what they do to bad teams, right? They win 40-0. And that was the first game of the season in New York. They played the Jets at home, 30-10. That's what they do against bad teams that beat them up, right? They played the Cardinals, they lost. But everybody you failed to mention, almost a whole offensive line was hurt that game. People forget about that part. They had like 3 offensive linemen missing that game. And it was tough on them boys. And we know it's hard. It's easy to run on the Cowboys. And that's what the Cardinals do best, run the ball. So it was just a bad matchup for the Cowboys, in my opinion. I feel like if they were home, they might have won, but they weren't going to blow them out. The New England Patriots, they play at home, blow them out. Then they play the 49ers on the road. You play them on the road, you play them at home, you play them outside my backyard. They lose at 42-10. I'm sorry. It got nothing to do with them being on the road. They play the Chargers on the road. This is after a bad 49ers loss when historically, when you lose to the 49ers, you lose those games. The Cowboys came out and won on a primetime game, something we haven't seen in a while, against another good quarterback. And they won on the road. Then they played the Rams 43-20 at home. They played the Eagles when the Eagles were hot. They just beat the Dolphins. Like they were feeling, the Eagles was like feeling the best as they beat the Chiefs. They were feeling good going into like playing Dallas. And Dallas didn't lay an egg, they lost. They didn't lay no egg. It wasn't like because they were on the road, they lost. The second time around when they caught the Eagles were falling. We saw it. The Eagles offered a loss to the 49ers. So those were 2 different Eagles. You play one Eagles, sure about that? You play one Eagles when they beat the Chiefs. They on an all-time high, and you lose. And you play a different Eagles team when they on an all-time low and they lose the 49ers. Home or away, I think it would have been the same result. And then they played the Carolina Panthers on the road, smoked them. They're a bad team. That's what they do. And then they played Seattle at home. And Seattle put up at home. So we always say the defense slip on. Man, bro, that has nothing to do with home or away. That's just how Dallas is. That's how they are. And they play the Bills, which is they ran the ball and they had our time. So I don't think enough. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Miami next week. I mean, it's just like I just wanted to comment on that bet, like that. Oh, they not good on the road, bro. I mean, when they lost, they're not good on the road in the playoffs. The last year they whooped the Buccaneers on the road, lost to the 49ers on the road, but they also lost to the 49ers at home the year before that. So it had nothing to do with home or away. Go ahead, Tom. What do you like to say?
All right, 85,
Yeah,
85,
Tom.
like the Bears. Man, that's a lot, Joe. Because everything you just said is why I'm gonna be like that. 85 is a little upsetting because the defense don't travel. You clearly just said it. I mean, look at the games, like you said. Giants coming out the gate. Everybody said that Daniel Jones was better than Dak Prescott. Prescott coming out the gate. That's what they said. It was a lot of people putting him over Dak. They said Danny is better because of the picks. So I'm not even gonna give them that. That's week one. They said the Giants was gonna be good. Smoked them. All right. After that, you go play the Jets. They just lost Aaron Rodgers. So that was their Cardinals game. I'll give them that because their defense was there. Dak had to show up. Same thing with that Cardinals game. I ain't got nothing to say about it because technically, if you look at it like this, we played the Cardinals at home, it would be that Seahawks game where it was tough in the beginning, but then we got a turnover here and there, and then the defense found its way. But for me, percentage-wise with Dak, I'm giving him 40%, and I'm giving the other 60 to the defense. And the reason why I'm giving the other 60 to the defense is these said reasons. You can sit back and you're gonna look at it. Dan Quinn, for some reason, this team can't play on the road. You know for a fact that teams want to do two things: either one, run at Michael Parsons, or know that you don't have a linebacker, so they're gonna run at your weakest linebacker. So you need to find a way.
Weakest safety. So go ahead.
That too. That too.
Linebacker spot.
So that means in one or two things, you need to make adjustments. This is why the 49ers are so good, because even when somebody goes down, they're like, all right, we need to adjust. And they're good at adjusting on the fly. With the Cowboys, they're like, nope. They turn into what I was badgering the Eagles about. They just like, this is what we're good at, so we're going to keep doing what we're good at. Yeah, and it's not going to work. Yesterday, they weren't even blocking Michael Parsons. They just ran away from him. And the plays were still happening. Even when they cut back to him, it was like a tidal wave of offensive linemen washing everything out that he couldn't even make a play. So again, this falls on the defense because again, if you want to get where you need to be, your defense and your run game needs to travel. Run game was there. We was just losing. Now, the reason why I give the 40% to another reason why I give the 60 to the defense is because 90% of them penalties came from the defense and the special teams. Why you jumping on a block punt? Okay, you know Josh Allen likes to flop when you touch him. So why are you even going to touch him like that, roughing the pass? It's just little things that you need to be principled for. The undisciplined football. Again, lead the league in takeaways for 3 years. Lead the league in penalties for almost 4 years. So something needs to change with this team. It's just undisciplined. They only want to show up when they play in the NFC East or a bad team. That's just flat out about it. Now, when it comes down to Dak Prescott and why I give him 40%, you see what's going on out there. You know your O-line not going to protect you. You know your O-line can't protect you the way it's been protecting you at home. So it's time to make adjustments. The same thing that Aaron Rodgers was praising you for is the same thing that you need to do in a game like this. All right, you know you only got 2 seconds to get the ball out. You need to be making some quick reads or looking at the iPad a little bit harder when you go back to the other side of when you go back to the bench. Because it's like, all right, we need to move the ball quicker because it's not working. All that trying to wait till somebody get down the field, it's not happening today, Dak. That's why you were the pick that you were in the draft, because you can't adjust when things get rough. Y'all seen it. His eyes got bright and y'all knew the pick was coming. Like, bro, why are you pressing? You already losing. Then he come out on if I was going to throw another pick, then I would have did that. No, that's not the mentality to have. Like, nah, I know you're trying to get back in the game, but at the end of the day, you need to step up at some point and be a man and be like, look, bro, I got this. Same thing you did in the Seahawks game. I got this. They can't stop. I got it. We're going to go out there and score. But you need to do that on the road because 9 times out of 10, the Super Bowl ain't going to be in Dallas. So if you're going to get to the Super Bowl, you got to play away. So y'all telling me if we was to get there, you're going to lose? You got to find a way to do something, bro. But yeah, that's just what that was.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did miss a. Yeah, I meant to mention that with my 85%. Miss Cooks on that deep ball too.
To me, that was the play of the game. They get that touchdown there, then Dallas has that momentum on the sideline, and it goes a little crazy. But after that, it was just spiraling out of control.
Even with that, what one thing I could say that may swing it to what Joe was saying was Dak also had 3 drop picks in that game, along with the one that he threw. So that would take that percentage up more than the 40% for me, at least.
Yeah, he did though, Tomo. He was missing bad that all game, man. I'm sorry, I'm sticking my 85% because
I ain't saying you change it. I'm just saying I'm not mad at the 85, but I'm also like I'm not giving my defense no leeway. That 85 I want to give some of that to the defense. That's all.
I do get what you're saying though, because he didn't hold the defense back as much as 85% would say, because the defense was horrible. It's not like he threw the game away. He just didn't keep up. You know what I mean?
80, maybe 70.
I can roll with 80. I can roll with 80. But not on 40. I can't give him 40%. I'm sorry. You MVP candidate, you get more than that. But Purdy didn't get 40% of the Browns game.
You right. I give you that one. You right. When you right, you right. Because he got him down there. He should have kicked the. He should have made the field goal. Brock Purdy, you should have made the field goal.
Man, if he had your kicker, that's game.
Exactly. Or Jake Elliott, or whatever.
Jake Elliott scored more points than Hurts in the last 2 weeks.
Oh man!
Wow.
Somebody got to take an L today, man. Let's get out of here.
All right, cool. Let's get it. All right, man. I mean, kickers scoring more points than quarterbacks. I mean, he's talking to the Ravens. But look though, so let's wrap this up. All right. Carl about to get me in the chat. Last words. Keegan Murray, shout out to J-Mo, 3 getting married, 47 points, 12 and 15 from 3. Man, I was amped. So I'm excited about the Sacramento Kings. We on a 6-game homestand. I said right now we're 2-0 on it. We beat OKC and we just whooped on Utah. I forgot who we play tomorrow, but we got the Wizards coming soon, and we got Boston coming soon too. So. But Wizards now want to play good. Like, come on, bro. Wait till after we play y'all to start looking better. All right. Commanders, Sam Howell. Listen, man, I got to go back and rewatch that game. But you had probably your worst game since the Bills game. Hoping Ron Rivera still announced you as a starting quarterback. That's when people say things like he's done. You still a starting quarterback. So let's see how you look against the Jets next week. And hashtag Swiper season. Shout out to everybody on the R2 Network. Like the bean.
Shout out to San Fran. Great job for holding up the standard and winning the NFC West title. But we got more to do. We got the Ravens on Christmas. It's bird hunting season. We got 3 birds out the way already. We got 1 left. Let's take care of business on Monday night. It's Christmas, so let's have a good Christmas party. And that would be a good Christmas dinner as well. But I'm not going to elaborate on that just yet. Tomorrow is when you'll see what's going to happen.
Okay.
Miami Heat, Tyler Herro's back. Let's win. University of Miami, let's go get Cam Ward.
Man. Well, I mean, Wizards, they found a way to no dub December, right? No losing streak for us. I feel bad for the Pistons, man. They can't find a way. They can't find a win, even if they did win. That's how bad they are. But I'm not going to kick another team while they down, because one team is down. Hey, I seen Michael Parsons' podcast, and for some reason when the Cowboys lose, I understand it now, because Michael Parsons may be the Cowboy fans that you all don't like. He all here talking about how the media is running down on us for losing. Like, did you not think that was going to happen? Like, bro, it's going to happen. People have 5-week drafts saved for this moment, for when we lose, because of what happened during that 5-week span of you beating up on bad teams. Again, when you play to the standard that you talk about on the pivot, then you don't have to worry about this. But as for now, they're going to keep talking about it. So for me, I'm going to just say this. Go out there, probably beat Miami. If not, you in the playoffs. Find a way to win a game on the road. You got to play the Commanders. So maybe that might be some help. I had to take the shot back because you want to talk about the Wizards. So we got to take a shot back. Maybe we could beat the Commanders and go into the playoffs and do something spectacular. Who knows? But for now, take the L. Watch Philly. Hopefully they lose and they keep this thing interesting.
Let's get it. All right, y'all. That's all we have for y'all today. And we'll see y'all next episode.
Peace.
Thank Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.